All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Friday night, and I missed Monday night live stream, so I figured why not tune in Friday, the weekend before Independence Day. Say hello to everybody that decides to join in, and if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for tuning in and, hanging out for a little bit. Anyway, Clint here, and I hope you guys have all had a great week. And I hope everybody enjoyed their previous weekend and everything and had a good time doing that. So, anyway, all right. Independence Day is upon us. We've got just a couple of days away before the 4th of July. Got Betsy Ross flying behind me, as I typically do anyway. But yeah. Man, I'm glad to see quite a few of you guys already entering the chat and everything and saying, hey, I think I've got everything fixed now since last time. My audio should be good and all. It's amazing just moving the mic a little bit closer to my face, how that would make things a little bit easier, right? Anyway, one thing I wanted to do was go through, let's see, the last live stream that I had, and I want to just go check out a couple of the comments down there and, well, respond to a few of those because, I know the audio is a little janky last time, all right? Because I know quite a few of you are down in the chat too whenever I go off on my rant sometimes, especially if we start talking about the ATF, which, by the way, did you guys see that my buddy, my pal, Brandon Herrera, everybody's favorite AK guy, sorry, Matt, testified against the ATF overreach. I think that is something that is super cool because one thing that I see a lot on social media is a lot of followers, subscribers, social media app users who are very eager to call out us types that are on social media that have a platform for not actually speaking out against the overreach that the ATF has, not actually taking up arms, if you will, and standing up for our rights. And then you've got a guy like Brandon Herrera who has a huge platform, has a great audience, and here he is actually doing the thing, right? Same with Ava Flanell. I've seen her testify plenty of times as well out in Colorado. And it's just something that I think is really freaking cool, right? Because you've got people that are more than willing to ultimately be on social media, use the Second Amendment, use our rights that we are granted here in this as human beings, and make money off of it. But a lot of times you don't see a lot of people actually sticking that same money where their mouth is, right? So I'm all for it. I think it's great that Brandon actually stepped up and testified. I think that's awesome. Of course, he and I have been communicating with Gun Owners of America as well and putting our name on legislation against the ban, the brace ban, against all sorts of other bullshit that's out there. And again, really, really cool that, people actually stand up and fight for your rights, right? So really, really freaking cool. But anyway, I just want to get to a couple of the comments from my stream, my last stream that I did, because one from @CazzyWill, thumbs down on this one, can't enjoy a video if the sound is distorted. You can't keep up, and I completely understand that. And this is me just learning this new microphone, right? So here we are now. Hopefully you guys hear me loud and clear. Go ahead and just comment down below if you guys can hear that. But ultimately, I hope that you guys hear me loud and clear now. A few of you have asked, where have I been? And, I have decided to take a little bit of personal time, but of course I will be back and getting into the swing of things here soon. You guys have seen a couple of videos that I've put out already on the Classic Firearms YouTube channel, like with the Henry revolver and lever gun, the brass side gate. I've done like the silencer video talking about utilizing a suppressor for home defense. Talked about a couple of different things and using some footage here and all. But I will be returning to Classic physical location next week. So me, Sarah, Kaya, Ryan, John, Matt, the whole gang will be back together. We are going to be filming the bolt gun series. So expect a lot of social media content coming from that. And we're going to be having a lot of fun there. So pretty excited about that one. All right. But anyway, one guy also asked, when am I reviewing the SIG P320 AXG Legion? Oof, that's coming from Jerry Brooks 7883 on YouTube, and I got to tell you, I am really looking forward to it. I have been in touch with SIG. They've been in touch with me, and let's just say I'm getting there, all right? So that's all there is to it. But anyway, cool. Let me get to some of y'all's comments on the live stream right now, seeing that I got a few hundred of you guys in here already. That's awesome. Thanks for joining. You guys are the absolute best. And like I said, it's the weekend before Independence Day. It's, about 7:05 now, and it's kind of funny that, it's Eastern, because I saw one of the first comments here, RXV. It's 1:36 a.m. wherever you are, and that's either very, very late or very, very early, depending. But anyway, cheers to you for joining the live stream and everything. Blackout Coffee Co. mug. Again, my buddy Guns and Gadgets, Jared, Gun Owners of America also, all here. And that's who I go to for my coffee needs. And today I'm drinking, or this evening I'm having a little bit of Lafroig. I think for any of you that have been tuning in on the live streams, you know that I like my scotches. So cheers to you guys, Salancha, and let's talk guns and shit. And whatever you guys might be drinking, all right? I also did find this ammunition bourbon. It's pretty cool. Naturally, I had to pick it up because ammunition. Got to keep the ammo stocked. Get it? Anyway, that's a pretty smooth bourbon if you're looking for that also. But also, before we start getting too much into the super chats, as I'm already starting to see a few of them come in, thank you very much. I will try to get to as many of your comments, questions, concerns, whatever it might be. And I just want to say that the super chats are what I will be, making sure I respond to as soon as possible. And oh my God, I had audio issues last time, and now what? My camera just died on me. Is that what happened? There we go. Great. All right. The battery should be there. Okay. Well, if you guys can still hear me, that's cool. So there you go. All right. Let me go ahead and reset the camera. Not too sure what's going on there. 1 second, guys. That's fantastic. What are you doing? All right. Yeah, just a battery issue for some reason, which I shouldn't be having because this is plugged in. Go. Oh, that's always fun. All right. Anyway, should be back up now. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I mean, maybe this is, maybe that's just what happens. I don't know. Sometimes I think it might be an equipment issue, but every now and then I think some three-letter agency gets a hold of my VPN and tries to crash my live streams. I don't know, But anyway, all right, cool. So hopefully it stays on. If not, it might be a short one tonight, and I'll get it fixed and make sure that I've got a charged battery, but it's connected, and so it should be completely fine. But anyway, all right. So like I said, we've got a couple of the super chats coming through, so let's go ahead and hit up a couple of those. And Tanner Sitterman, good to see you again. It's really cool how often I see, I guess you could say repeat viewers here, and Legacy Productions is one of them. Tanner, Rusty Shackelford, whenever he joins, it's always super cool to see you guys all the time, so thank you guys for tuning in and everything. But crazy to think he's 5 years younger than me, but looks 50. He's done a great job. Right, yeah. Brandon Herrera is actually only 27, something like that. Young dude, doing the absolute best work. So yeah, keep at it, AK guy. All right, thank you, Tanner. Appreciate it. Push through the life. #PTL. Appreciate you and the donation. Thank you guys so much. DLD After Dark, we're talking on Instagram. Yep, be on the show, I think next week, right? Or about a week and a half or so. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. And thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see here. Hungry 40s. Good to see you again, too. Yeah, thank you so much. And ATF seems to only focus on the F part of their title when they really should go F themselves. That's pretty good. Cheers to that. Speaking of, they don't really focus on the alcohol or the tobacco. How about that? Yeah, you hear a lot about the firearms side of things and what the ATF does there. I haven't really checked the ATF's Instagram recently. I actually unfollowed them once they turned comments off on all of their posts. I used to go in there and give them hell. I'm sure I'm on a list of theirs. But, it is what it is. And, I did notice that a lot of their posts would actually be all firearms-related things that they were busting people on. And, that's just pretty interesting, if you ask me. So, anyway... let's see here. Derek's asking a pretty good question about a cartridge that I don't have a lot of experience with just yet, but one I am really excited to get my hands on, and that's about 8.6. 8.6 Blackout. If you guys haven't heard about it, check it out. And do I think 8.6 Blackout will take off like 300 Blackout did? It's another one of those where it's going to be a really small group of people that I think it might take off for. 8.6, again, the ballistics behind it are freaking awesome. I think it's a really, really cool cartridge. But no, I don't have that much experience with it. And as far as it taking off like 300 Blackout did, I don't know. I don't think it has quite the popularity, quite the exposure that 300 Blackout did when it first came out. Being the round to replace the 9mm to ultimately phase out the MP5, right? That's like, oh my God, that's a really big task. And, it's to be argued if 300 Blackout actually did that. But, Honey Badger versus MP5, which one are you guys taking? Depends, right? But at the end of the day, I think Honey Badger, as much as I love an MP5, right? But anyway. Oh, yeah. So Andy Dom 130, quick question, and I talked a little bit about this my last live stream. Did I have to register my Daniel Defense Mark 18? When I bought it in 2016, I bought it in 2016, I think. And I saw it up on the wall. I thought it was really cool. And I was like, heck yeah, let's do it. And so, yes, I bought it as an SBR. Now, looking back, what I wish I did is bought it as a pistol and, well, throwing a stock on it. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm not saying break the law, right? I'm just saying, what do I wish I did? Yeah, I wish I, bought it as a pistol and thrown a stock on it. I mean, I don't see how that's a crime. How is that hurting anybody? You can buy a Mark 18 pistol, you can buy a Mark 18 SBR and pay $200 more in a tax, pay probably a little bit more on the front end because these manufacturers like to put some sort of, NFA items on a pedestal. It just doesn't make sense, right? Literally the exact same guns that perform exactly the same by the exact same manufacturer with the exact same stats, whatever you want to call it, but one would be a pistol, one would be a short-barreled rifle. It blows my mind. I wish I never bought into it, to be completely frank with you. But at the same time, I don't regret my silencers, which also shouldn't be NFA items, so... looking around, I've got easily about $1,000 just in taxes, right? To ultimately pay to exercise my Second Amendment right, to ultimately be, sending in a registry. So, yeah, I had to register my Mark 18 SBR, and now they got record of my purchase, record of a bunch of things that they don't need to have record of, right? So, at a younger age, I didn't really realize what I was doing, I guess you could say. And looking back at it, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I will never buy another short-barreled rifle. I will still own a lot of short-barreled firearms, however. Okay? So there you go. I mean, they're dumb freaking laws. Again, who's the victim? The United States government? Come on. Really? A victim? So... anyway, continuing on here. Do I have any safe queens? I do, actually. My M39 It is a VKT M39, still has the Imperial markings, things like that. I don't really take that out. I don't really shoot it. I really like that gun. My dad's firearms that were left to me, those are my safe queens. Those are sentimental value that I'll be passing down to my kids one day, and so on and so forth. So all of that, yeah, I've got safe queens, but a lot of my firearms I do take out and shoot quite a bit, so some just more than others. All right. But anyway, I'm seeing what a couple of you are saying. I just want to scroll down really quick to some of the later, responses about how you guys feel about what I just said here. Taxation of firearms is theft. And there goes the camera again. Sorry about that, guys. I might just replace the battery really quick and make that a fast thing, because that's pretty damn annoying. I know it's annoying for you guys. 1 second. Son of a bitch. One second, guys. I'll be right back. It's funny how this works out. Okay. Working on it. I've had this pretty much on all day and no issues until now, of course. Ain't that just how it goes? Okay, I feel like we might be getting somewhere now. Oh, well, that's always fun. That's what I get for leaving the camera on all day, right? Anyway, batteries replaced. We shouldn't have any more issues there. All right. Anyway, you guys are pretty right. Yeah, who knows, So there you go. It is what it is. So yeah, thank you, Chris. I mean, that's all there is to it. I blame the feds. Where's Kaya? Yes, it's theft. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I believe taxation in general is theft quite a bit. Just if you don't pay the government a set amount of your money that you earn, well, they'll come and arrest you, right? And they won't tell you how much you owe them, but they know exactly. And if you mess up on it, you could get audited, which could lead to literally your arrest and more fines, right? That's how is that not theft, right? So, oh well, that's all there is to it. But anyway, for me, as far as a SPR goes, it's in my mind it's always been an 18-inch, but it depends on caliber and everything too. But 5.56 in my mind, SPR 18-inch. All right, so that's Alex Brent, how I feel about that. And I'm gonna get to a couple more of the super chats here. I think I've seen you guys. Let's go over here. Alex, again, thank you so much for that. Hey, Clint, I've been watching a couple of years now, and I just want to say thanks so much for making these videos. You've taught me so much. Well, man, that means a lot. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It honestly means the world to me. Me and the team, we put in a lot of work on these videos, and this part is just me, right? And obviously, because the camera keeps going on in and out, if I had a Ryan here with me right now, I wouldn't be having these problems, right? But anyway, shout out to our boy Ryan, or John. John's a great asset as well. And but no, there's a whole team that really puts in a lot of work and a lot of hours to try to bring as much content as we possibly can, quality content, to you guys, our viewers. And y'all really do make it worth it. And I, again, just so grateful. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you, Alex. Appreciate you a lot. Hungry 40s, for my first 22 long rifle, do you recommend bolt action or semi-auto? Been looking at Rugers and Savage Arms for a good plinker. All right, so there's a couple that I would recommend, and I will tell you right now, a Ruger 1022 semi-auto is a lot of fun. Okay, especially if you drop in the Franklin Armory binary trigger, even more fun. All right, but here's the thing. Have you ever shot a lever action 22? I know that's kind of changing up, bolt action versus semi-auto, but you can really run a lever gun quick once you get it down. And I can tell you right now, for instance, Henry, I will always shout them out because I grew up with a Henry 22 lever and pump gun, and I absolutely love them. And what I'm going to tell you is a lever gun 22 is a shit ton of fun. Also a shit ton of fun, in addition to the semi-auto with the binary trigger, the Ruger 1022, also a bolt gun with a threaded barrel, suppressed, is also a lot of fun. What's also really cool about all three of these guns that I just mentioned is you can find all of them at a pretty affordable price. So it's not like you're breaking the bank for these types of firearms. 10 out of 10 would recommend each. As far as your first 22 rifle goes, that's really hard. As a first, my first was the Henry 22 lever gun and pump gun. Grew up with those, and those were my firsts. As far as what could be yours, I'll have to leave it up to you. Again, I do like the idea of a bolt gun quite a bit, because learning to run a bolt at a young age, for, if you have kids, cousins, nephews, nieces, whatever else it might be, that would be something I think would be very beneficial to learn how to run a bolt at a very young age, right? So there you go. Oh, I like this, talking about that. Mare Bear. Speaking of lever guns, there should be a lever action 22 with a side gate. Side gates are fun. Side gates are a lot of fun. I have my 4570 right there, my 3030 right there, my 357 side gate right there. And then right next to it is, you guys can't see it, it's off camera, but my Colt M4 and then my Henry 22 lever gun. Which, yeah, a 22 side gate would be really, really cool. I'll talk to Henry and ask them, why haven't they done that? I think that's a really good question, because, yeah. Oh, yes, I also grew up with one of these, a Marlin tube feed semi-auto, which is a lot of fun. We also had some of those Italian 22s that can actually go from bolt to semi-auto. Check those out. I forgot what the hell they were called, but they were really, really cool. But yeah, the Marlins are also awesome. Bagara 22s are awesome. Any 22 is fun. Yes. I'm seeing all of you guys' comments and everything, and you're absolutely right. 22s, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Doesn't matter what configuration. A single shot, still fun, but it's only just one shot, and it's kind of boring, trying to load every single time. 22 revolvers are also a lot of fun. There's a lot of different options out there, right? So anyway, I know that didn't really answer your question, but you get my opinion at least, all right? So continuing on here. Dezus Inc., thank you so much for the super chat. Tavor 7, 20-inch versus Scar 20S versus AR-10 comparison. Man, that's a whole video. That's a whole video right there. Damn. So, all right. Obviously, the biggest difference between the Tavor and the two others mentioned is it's a bullpup. If you like the bullpup design, go with that. If you don't go with that. Still very, very cool. It's also, a long-stroke piston-driven design, I believe. So that's a lot of fun. Scar 20, short-stroke piston-driven design, traditional controls, unlike a bullpup. And it also has the reputation of the Scar, right? Everybody loves the Scar. Also, the Scar 20 is my favorite configuration of the Scar because it's bigger, bulkier, a little bit heavier, but it shoots so well, especially with the Geisley Super Scar trigger that's in the Scar 20, which is also like in the thumbnail for this video, for this live stream today. So, and then the AR-10. AR-10s, I've built one, and I absolutely love mine. Adjustable gas block. I've got a 3-chamber brake by Yankee Hill on it, so I can throw on my Yankee Hill silencer, rifle stock, rifle buffer system, and everything. Very soft shooting for a 308. that's going to be a video. Scar versus Tavor versus AR-10. You know, so we'll leave that there. That's going to be a whole video in and of itself. Thank you, Jesus, for the super chat. Appreciate it. And Wardog08, thank you. Appreciate it. Brought a Trijicon MRO for my CMMG Resolute Blackout. Well, you can't go wrong with that. The MRO is a fantastic optic. It's one we've offered the MRO in a couple of giveaways, and it's just a fantastic little red dot. So you've made a great choice, right? There you go. Texas 13 Outlaw, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Here to bug you again. Hey, you know, again, I was just mentioning, you know, a couple of the continuous viewers and everything, or, you know, thank you guys. And you're not bugging me. I literally hop on in the evenings whenever I do live stream for this. So you're not bugging me. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. 277 Fury. Do I think 277 Fury is going to overtake 223-556? Been watching a long time, and thanks for all you do for the 2A community. Appreciate that. Thank you. Do I think 277 Fury is going to take over? I don't know if it's going to be 277. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be 277 Fury. But I do believe that 556 eventually will be phased out. If you take a look at a lot of our near-peer adversaries, a lot of the body armor and everything else that they are starting to equip themselves with, well, isn't getting defeated easily with 556. Right? So ultimately, that's the entire reason behind this 277 Fury cartridge, the 6.8 by 51, to start to up that penetration game, right? But I also feel like we're kind of going backwards a little bit. The M14 was phased out. The 7.62 NATO cartridge was phased out as the standard issue cartridge and rifle because, well, bigger, heavier, couldn't carry as much as you need, right? And people weren't as accurate with a larger cartridge because of the recoil. If you've seen the Sig Spear, which I also have, you know, right there, but on full auto with the 277 Fury cartridge or the 6.8 by 51, you'll see what kind of recoil it has. And now all of a sudden you're trying to get, you know, these soldiers, Marines, whomever that might be equipped with this type of firearm, and also that fire control unit, that optic, which sure I think would make a more accurate shot, maybe not perhaps a more accurate shooter though. You know, maybe the hit probability will go up, maybe, but it's not guaranteed, I don't think. So, you know, that's all there is to that, you know. But anyway, Derek Taylor, I will never give up on my FAL. Cheers to that, right? Yeah, the FAL rocks. So, you know, there you go. All right, RY, I'm trying to see what all you're responding to. Cool. Okay. All right. Is there? I don't know. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, you know. Anyway, let me scroll up to a couple of other ones here. I just want to get to you guys. Want to see McGraybush coming on from Twitch. Need Radiant to actually sell their damn afterburner. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet accessory there. You know, I'm not being mean to Kaya. We poke fun at each other quite a bit. Honestly, if we didn't, we'd probably wonder what's the beef, right? No, Kaya, great dude. Love working with him. He's helping me out quite a bit right now by stepping in and, you know, being a part of a lot of the videos as I take a little bit of a break. You know, for a while there, we did 860, you know, videos consecutively, and we're still putting out quite a few videos each week, and it's nice to kind of like decompress for a little bit, you know. So that's all there is to. But anyway, Owen's asking a good question about when the next Chinese SKS crate's opening. I wish I had a response. I wish I had an answer. I mean, I've got a response. I just don't have an answer. And at one point in time at the old warehouse, we had 3,000 SKSs in those old crates. That was a beautiful sight to behold. Unfortunately, surplus is becoming harder and harder to get. It's becoming more and more expensive as well. It's not like it's not out there. It's just now the prices, if you guys were complaining about prices 2 years ago, you don't want to see what it is now. I mean, Mosin Nagants are going for what, $300 or $400, and they're just in fair condition. Yeah, that's, that sucks, right? Oh boy, man. But Tanner, thank you again. Appreciate it. Your high-end AR build, is it worth the money? If so, would you be interested in building one for me? Well, all right. So 2-part question. For one, I really, really did enjoy that high-end AR build that we built out for the AR build series. I loved that gun. I found every expensive part and threw it on there, and it was about a $6,000 gun at the end of the day. Is it worth it? In my honest opinion, no. Why? Because that $6,000 AR, though as cool, lightweight, accurate, whatever it was ultimately doing the exact same thing that an IWI Zion would do. Doing the exact same thing that, an LMT would do. And that's an expensive gun, right? So is it worth it? Is there a certain level of a cool factor to it? Yeah, absolutely. But as far as it being worth it, I don't think so. I don't think so. As far as building a gun for you, look, if I knew you personally, I wouldn't mind helping you out, stuff like that. But to be quite frank, it's not that I don't trust my abilities to build ARs and stuff like that. I've built quite a few of them. And, knock on wood, none of them have hurt me or anybody else shooting them. I'm not a manufacturer. Don't have an FFL. Don't have anything else like that. I don't think I'd be willing to build for somebody if, like that personally, right? So just being honest with you. But like I said, if I knew you personally, I'd definitely help you out on the weekend or something and, build one up in an hour or so. But anyway, Mayor Bear back in the chat over here. As far as the civilian market goes, I'd argue that the price of 277 needs to go down a lot to justify civilians swapping over. 556-223 has countrywide adoption. 277 has a long way to go, and you're absolutely right about that. It's maybe if it becomes widely adopted, right? The United States military adopts it. Now all of a sudden you're going to get surplus ammo in. I mean, hell, I see how much the United States Marine Corps just wastes. Right? You have ammo that's been sitting in the back of a warehouse for however long. Oh, you know what? We can't send this out. We can maybe train with it. Oh, it got damp. We're going to, condition code H this thing, and now all of a sudden it's got to get burned. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of rounds a year are destroyed because they age out. And it blows my mind because that's all money at the end of the day. Again, another reason why I don't agree with taxes, because we just literally throw it into a pit in the middle of the desert and burn it. And so it's kind of like, okay, it's going to take wide adoption before we start seeing prices drop on it. Right now, it's still kind of a niche thing, right? If you have a SIG Spear chambered in 6.8 by 51, then you're the only person that's really looking for that ammo, right? So there you go. I see a couple of you asking where Alec has been. He started his own company. Make sure you guys, he's still on Instagram and everything at Alec. I'm Alec Epley. Alec. I don't. So anyway, just check out my Instagram, magdump_Morgan. You'll see me and Alec, usually have some sort of conversation. Me, him, Ryan. We talk literally almost every single day via social media and stuff. So there you go. Oh, man. Iron Phoenix asking the real questions. My favorite way to cook a steak. So there's a few. There's the cast iron way of doing it. Get that thing real buttery and all that type of stuff and just start sloshing that butter on there. Make sure you get it to a nice rare temperature. Nothing too hot, of course, because, you don't want to overcook your meat, right? You can't overcook your steak. There it is to it. I do like the cast iron way of going about it. But I also am just a grill guy. I really love going outside on the smoker, something like that, and get a whole tenderloin and smoke a whole tenderloin. Oh, mouth is literally watering right now. So I guess you could say that would be my favorite way of going about it. All right. Anyway, let's see here. Got another super chat down in here. Ghost Shadow, Camp Pendleton. We were throwing AT4s into pits and blowing them up every month. For those of you that don't know, AT4s, anti-tank, 84 millimeter round, get it? AT4, 84. There you go. The AT4 is a one and done use rocket launcher at the end of the day, and they're expensive. They're not like an RPG that you can continually reload. You know, you got the rocket in, you got the warhead that you load into the actual tube, right? It's just a one and done type of thing. Lightweight, easy to use, push button, boom, plastic sights. Maybe you'll hit it, maybe you won't, whatever. And that's all there is to it. And Ghost Shadow here, obviously a Marine, saying that Camp Pendleton, we were throwing away AT4s into pits and blowing them up every single month. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is partially where a very small amount of your taxpayer money goes. Sometimes it also goes to studying the sexual habits of a squirrel on cocaine. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's legit. Anyway, continuing on with what you guys are saying here. Just bought an AR-15 from Classic. Ricky Jack, thank you. What AR did you get? Let us know, because I am quite a fan of a lot of AR-15s from Classic Firearms. I see Iron. What are you referring to? I've said a lot of things. I see Man of Culture, Clint. I'm not too sure, but anyway, RY. Are you okay, bruh? What? So anyway, there you go. Sometimes it goes to Ukraine to be wasted. Billions of dollars to most likely be wasted. So there you go. Anyway, waking up, Michael. Good morning to you, wherever you might be. All right. And I'm glad you're okay, RY. I'm just trying to figure out what all you're responding to. Anyway, DB15 chambered in 300 blackout. Good choice. Diamondback is a great little, great product. Affordable. They work. They're reliable. I also have had a Diamondback. I got a Diamondback AR pistol way back. Switched out because it was 5.56. Swapped it to be a 300 blackout barrel and ran that for quite a bit of time and had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, 10% for the big guy. There you go. Space Daddy cereal. Your choice of winter/summer carry if you had to choose one for each. So far, my year-round carry has been my 365 macro. I will say this, though. If I'm wearing shorts and a T-shirt and, going out, to the beach for the day or something like that, I will actually be taking my Canik MC9, my Mate MC9, because it's easier to conceal. It doesn't have quite the capacity, but it is still a very comfortable firearm. I've got an Alpha Omega Kydex holster. I about picked up the Canik. Wow. All right, listen to you go. I about picked up my Canik MC9, which is sitting right here. You can hear the holster that it's sitting in right there. But apparently live streams get shut down. Sarah at the Peace of Mind _ she found out the hard way when she was live streaming on the channel, last week or so. Don't pick up guns on your live stream. Instagram doesn't care. Twitch doesn't care. YouTube does. Anyway, but if I had to choose one, that would be it. Those are my go-to right at the moment. The Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, fantastic option as well. For me, great grip, great ergonomics, great capacity. There's quite a few of them that are just awesome. So, that's a good one to go for right there. Oh, let's see here. Also have a Bacara War Dog 17 HMR bolt action carbon fiber barrel and threaded barrel. Solid. 17 HMR is a great round. All right. Got another super chat over here. Hello, world. Thank you for the support. What do I think of 6.5 Grendel versus 6.8 SPC? 6.5 Grendel is a really slept on round. That round is legit and one that I think should actually have a little bit more exposure. I think I know Matt is a big fan of 6.5 Grendel, and that's something I want to play around with a little bit more. Versus 6.8 SPC, though, I think the 6.8 SPC is going to have a little bit better performance long range, unless I'm getting those confused. I'm sorry if I am. if I'm being completely honest, I just don't have a lot of experience with both of those rounds. But I do know that 6.5 Grendel is one that is underrated and one that I think will feature a little bit more on the channel. And I also think this is something that would be a good another versus video. So 6.5 versus 6.8 SPC, 2 slept-on cartridges. How do they perform against each other? Let's find out. Stay tuned. I have a feeling that's a YouTube video coming soon. All right. Anyway, I got them backwards. Okay, thanks, Derek. So 6.5 has a little bit better performance downrange. Okay, my bad. Anyway, like I said, I don't claim to know everything, all right? All right, asking a legitimate question here. Thank you so much, man. Clint, which gun would you recommend with a thermal? Depends on your use. If you're doing some low light, no light, hog hunting, 300 blackout is going to be hard to beat, suppressed with thermal. Then again, some distance guns with thermal is really cool too. So stay tuned, by the way, because I think in our bolt gun series, we will be having some thermal technology integrated. Thank you, AGM. So there's that, right? Also, I've been wanting to try this, but a thermal optic on my 4570 Henry over here would be pretty freaking cool if you ask me. If I wanted to do a little bit larger game, nighttime, nocturnal hunting, something like that. So as far as which gun would I recommend with a thermal, again, it depends on what you're doing at the end of the day. All of them, and depends on what type of thermal. You have the clip-on that can go just ahead of your optic. There's also some solutions out there that clips on to the ocular lens. I think that's the right one. That's the one closest to the shooter of your optic. And it holds your reticle and everything, but gives you thermal capability with your same optic, which I think is really, really cool. So if you already have like a 5.56, like on my Mark 12, I think that would be a really cool thing, you know. So I hope I answered your question. Anyway, oh yeah, another Patrol Warrior at Patrol Warrior from Dwayne Campbell. My SIG 716i shoots awesome. That is also a really, really good firearm altogether. Let's see here. Ghost Shadow back in the chat. Classic Firearms at Classic Firearms. Built a Frankenstein AR-10 in 2017. Bought a 20-inch SOCOM profile barrel from Classic Firearms. Every part was a different manufacturer. Paid just over $400 for everything. Discontinued, blemished parts. And that's awesome. That's one thing I really, really, really love about building your own firearm is you can take the time and the expense that you want and piece it together and make something really, really cool out of a bunch of different parts and collaborate them all, if that's using that word correctly, and then figure out the mix match and what performs best with each other. You know, I again, it's a lot of fun if you ask me. So really, really cool. All right. Toti Glock Boy. I think I got that right. SIG Cross or Dana Defense Delta 5. Shit. The SIG Cross is going to be a lighter one. I don't particularly care for the stock, kind of like the Q Fix. Not really a big fan of the stock. You will start to feel that. So just for the comfort and ergonomics, I think I like the Delta 5 a little bit better, depending on which variation of the Delta 5 you go with. But the SIG Cross is a little bit lighter. I think the Delta 5. I think that's what I'm going to go with. All right. So there you go. Let's see here. DB in the chat. Love the Darth Vader icon there. Range vid filming next week. Son and I would love to meet you. Oh, that's pretty cool. We are going to spend a lot of next week at the range. If I'm being completely honest with you, Wednesday morning I'll just say Wednesday morning, because we got a lot of work to do, a lot of content to film and everything, but I am always willing to stop and just say, hey, let you guys shoot something, that would be a good day to run into us. Just throwing that out there. We will be at Take Aim Training and Range, and we are going to be filming the next series and some giveaway videos, and I think like pretty much the whole team's going to be there, which will be a lot of fun. But anyway, so what are we filming next week? We're filming a lot. I know like the biggest things that we're filming are the bolt gun series, the next couple of guns that will be featured at cfcontest.com. So What other videos are we filming? I know I have a whole schedule, but I'm not going to take the time to try to look it up right now. But a lot of cool stuff coming up, all right? So there you go. Let me get over here. Got another super chat over here. Bam. Stony KR. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. Recommended optic for AR-15 with an FM-15 upper and the Reap weaponry Psi bullpup conversion. Wow, you went all out there. That's pretty freaking cool. General purpose Minuteman type stuff. A good LPVO. I am a fan of LPVOs, but I'm also a fan of a really good red dot or holographic. What type of distances do you plan on shooting? Is this a home defense gun? If it's a home defense gun, I wouldn't really worry about an LPVO. Unless your home that you're defending is the Biltmore estate and you need to shoot from one side of the estate to the other. So again, a lot of the questions that you guys ask, take into consideration the purpose. If you've got something that's going to be a distance gun, then you're probably going to want a magnified optic. If you've got something that's going to be more of a truck gun, something that might be like ranch use or property protection, you might want something that's LPVO, right? If you've got something that's strictly bedside, you're probably just going to want a simple red dot that stays on all the time, right? So you've got a couple of different options. You guys have heard me talk about Vortex and how much I like their products, Swamp Fox and how much I like their products, Trigicon and EOTech, products that I swear by, right? And of course, there's a lot of other different manufacturers and companies that produce some great options as well. Maybe not Sightmark, right? I know, hopefully I didn't hurt too many feelings right there, but if it's, a planker that you're just going to have fun with, sure. Like a little AIM red dot reflex that's, $20. I probably wouldn't trust that with my life. Would I throw it on a gun just for fun at the range one day? Yes, I've done it before in a video with the Franklin Armory binary trigger for the 1022. I just threw on a quick little red dot because I knew I was going to go out and have fun. I remember actually specifically a comment on that video that said that's why they couldn't take me serious because of the optic I chose to put on that gun. And I said, this video isn't exactly intended to be all that serious. I'm literally just having fun. So, whatever. You'll always be judged. But anyway, it sounds like you've already got a really cool rifle set up. Again, depending on what your purpose is how I would navigate the answer to that question about what optic. All right. Let's see here. Hunter Avery. Will there be any more Forged Trunnion 5.56 Pioneer Arm blims in stock? As far as blims go, not too sure. Pioneer, they'll let us know. And so I wouldn't say no, but they also may have found out what was causing the blemish and corrected it. I know if I was a manufacturer, that's what I would do. So unless it's like, that's something I really do like about blemished firearms is there's nothing that's going to inhibit the functionality of the gun, the reliability of the gun. It's just going to be a look thing. Like a Cerakote could have a bubble in it. A Cerakote finish could be an incorrect color. Little things like that, right? Who remembers the IWI Galil Ace Blim cell from a couple years back? There was nothing wrong with those guns. I think they were literally just trying to make room for the Gen 2 Aces that were coming out, and I missed out on that cell. And I worked for Classic Firearms at that time. I regret every second of that. Anyway, let's see here. Steel versus ceramic plates, shelf life versus protection. All right. I'll say this. Steel will obviously have a longer shelf life. With that being said, if you're going to run steel plates, run a spall liner. Ceramic plates, the shelf life on those, you're talking, man, for the price that they are, especially if you train in them, you'll get your value out of it just as a piece of workout equipment, right? And on top of that, if you ever actually take a round, the likelihood of you being shot is low. The likelihood of you being shot with body armor on is even lower because think about it, right? Unless you're law enforcement, whatever else the case might be. That's not to say I don't advocate for body armor. I do believe that every citizen should be able to own ultimately whatever they want at the end of the day, right? So personally, I have both. That's only because I'm in the industry and I've had the opportunity to test and shoot a lot. And if I had to only choose one or the other, I'm going to go ceramic all day, every day. The price that you pay for it and the lifespan, the shelf life that you typically get, a couple years, 5, 6 years, something like that. Don't quote me on that. Let me double check. Ceramic body armor. Let me just do a quick Google search and see what comes up. 5 to 7 years. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. You know, depending on what plates you spend, if you're spending $1,000 for some HESCO plates, one plate, yeah, it's quite a bit of money to spend on something that might expire over the next couple of years. You know, if you want the same level of protection at a fraction of the price, Guard Dog Body Armor, I will always support them because, well, they make good shit, right? And that's all there is to it. You're spending a little bit less, quite a bit less, for what I believe is the same level of protection. And if it expires after 5 to 6 years, okay, so be it. You know, I actually have plates from Guard Dog Body Armor that I've just got sitting. I want to see how they will hold up. I do believe I'll have to double check the back. They're still brand new in the bubble wrap. I want to see what the date of manufacture is on them. And I'm holding those for 7 years. If I'm still doing this in 7 years, I will take those plates out and say, let's see how long, or let's see what type of distance or difference in protection that we get, right? So we'll see. All right. But anyway, I hope that's answered all your questions. Alpha Omega Kydex holster in the chat. What's up? If this is Eric, it's obviously Eric. What is up, dude? I was just talking about you and my Canik Mate MC9 that I can't show because YouTube will take the stream down. Sitting in my Alpha Omega Desert Digital Camouflage, thank you for that, holster. And the only problem is I have a TLR7 that I want to throw on my MC9, but my holster isn't cut for it. Not a big deal. I am still going to carry that, obviously, and I always carry a offhand light also, whether it be my Surefire Stiletto. I also have a little 511 light, which is actually a really nice light. So keep a light on you. You never know when you might drop your keys getting out of your car or whatever else, and if you have to draw your gun to be able to see where your keys are, especially in the Walmart parking lot, you know, people might ask some questions, so keep an offhand light. Anyway, I've talked about Alpha Omega Kydex holsters quite a bit, so make sure you guys are checking them out. If you're looking for a holster inside the waistband, outside the waistband, thigh rig, whatever, these guys have it. And the reason that, you know, I linked up with Alpha Omega actually is because of Ryan, our videographer, content coordinator, genius, technological genius. He needed a holster for his Beretta M9A3, and I forgot what light configuration it was. And we looked all over the place, and we could not find a holster with that light compatibility and that for that firearm, and Alpha Omega had it. We hit him up, got the holster, and I don't know if this was, you know, newer for the company or you know, when Alpha Omega first started or whatever, but one thing I will say is, you know, we noticed that one of the, you know, screws came loose or whatever from you know, one of the screws that pretty much holds the holster together, right? The holster still worked just fine. We just noticed it was backing out a little bit. We contacted Alpha Omega, not even as classic, right? We just said, hey, we're running this, and immediately sent us out screws with the correct Loctite on them, said, hey, so sorry, that Loctite, you know, those screws weren't Loctited the way they were supposed to. You know, hope to fix it. You can also send the holster back to me. I'll install them. And, you know, Ryan just said, I can install a couple of screws. No big deal. Didn't charge us for any shipping. Didn't charge us for anything. Just sent the screws out to be replaced. And that's when I knew, let's work with this company, because that was pretty legit. And so Alpha Omega Kydex holsters, you guys will always hear me talk them up. Because why? Because they make a quality product, stand behind their shit, and Eric's a great guy. Use code MAGDUMP at checkout. Anyway, So thank you, man, for tuning in. It's always good to see you. Connor, ever had any experience with the Sig Sauer BDX? If not, 10 out of 10 recommend. So the funny thing is, I actually had one of the BDX optics sitting aside to use for video. And then it got pushed back deeper into our closet of accessories and optics that we want to shoot video on, and we forgot about it. So, shit happens like that whenever you're producing so much content. You've got this, you got this manufacturer you're working with, you got this that you got to try to, push out or whatever else it might be. And so stay tuned. We'll have a video coming out on it. It is actually a really cool system. And yes, I do have experience with it. It's solid. If you guys don't know what it is, check it out. I don't want to lead too much on because we will do a video one day covering it. And just got to say, it's something you're going to like quite a bit. All right. BDX. Let's see here. Let's go another one. The Mighty Pin 15. God damn it, that's funny. What is the absolute most wallet-friendly 5.56 AR-15 type platform you would trust in the shit hits the fan situation? If I'm being completely honest, Delton. They make a rifle that works. Every friend of mine that wanted a budget AR that bought a Delton has run 1,000 rounds plus, thousands if not, and have never had an issue. Smith & Wesson MP Sport, it works. If you want a budget-friendly gun that doesn't have a dust cover or a forward assist or anything, the basic Sport, there you go, a couple $100, you got a gun that's going to work, right? The Sport 2 has the forward assist and dust cover and is a little bit more, has those couple of extra features. Works. Wouldn't be, yeah, so there you go. All right. So that's, and also, I mean, there's also building the most wallet friendly AR 5.56 type platform that I would trust is the one that I built. Just saying, right? I know I was saying earlier for a friend, hey, you know what? If something goes wrong, I don't want to be liable, whatever. Or, let's be honest, for somebody I haven't met yet, right? A friend that I haven't met yet, a friend of mine that I know, personally or whatever. Oh yeah, we're going to build rifles all day long. I'll make sure it's running right, straight, and I'll make sure that we're actually Loctiting things, greasing things, setting things, staking things, all that type of stuff, right? Dimpling barrels. I've done that for friends before with my dimple jig and everything. And so, there you go. Like I said, strangers, I just don't want somebody to say, oh, hey, you built this gun for me and all of a sudden it blew up or whatever, and I wasn't there to witness it or whatever. It's a trust thing, all right, guys? It's the internet. You never know, okay? Not saying I don't love you guys, but I'm just saying, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, so yeah, the rifle you build, all right? Dwayne Campbell, again, Dwayne, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. How long did it take for you to get used to the red dot on your pistol? I'm having a heck of a time. I think it's because of the astigmatism. Yeah, that's going to be, that's going to suck with the astigmatism. I know there's solutions for rifles, prism optics and things like that. But when it comes to a pistol red dot, it gets difficult. It gets really difficult. So I don't know if I have a solution for you on that front. If you guys do in the chat, help our boy Dwayne out. By the way, thank you for the support. But I can tell you right now, how long did it take me to get used to the red dot on a pistol? Let me not give it to you that answer and the answer of time, because I would say about a month, right? Let me give it to the answer of rounds, because I think that might be a little bit more easier to relate to, because I have shot, I shoot a lot, right? I practiced the first red dot on a pistol I ever shot, and I think I talked about this in the top 5 22 long rifle guns that we recently put out. A Ruger 2245, and had a red dot on it. No iron sights or anything like that. And I just sat in the backyard and would plink. Or I would take it to the range and plink. And I would just shoot. And it took me a few hundred rounds, to start getting comfortable with it. Upgrading then to straight from 22 to 45. Doesn't make sense. I know you would think I would have something in between, but the next gun that I shot with a red dot on it, The gun I still have in my possession today, my bedside gun, FNX 45 Tactical, with a silencer on it. A little bit different, right? I got the fundamentals and the understanding of a red dot on a pistol with a 22, and it actually translated very well to the 45 because I at least, okay, cool. However, recovering from recoil took a little bit longer, but over time and with again, a couple of mags, getting used to the 45, all of a sudden it started to reel in. I will say anywhere between 300 rounds to 500 rounds to get really, really good with coming up on the draw and shooting. Dry fire makes a hell of a difference, however. If you sit at home and all you're doing is presenting, you will find yourself becoming more and more comfortable with lining up that red dot, getting your target acquisition, your sight alignment with only a red dot. What I really love about co-witnessing red dots on pistols with iron sights is the fact that whenever I'm teaching somebody how to shoot with a pistol red dot, what I'll see them do oftentimes, let's pretend this magazine's a gun. All right, where's the red dot, right? Hey, line up your iron sights. Oh shit, there's the red dot. Exactly. You're able to draw on your target pretty quickly, effectively, and accurately with your iron sights. Do the same thing, but instead of focusing on that front sight, focus on that reticle. All of a sudden, that muscle memory comes into play, and here you are. You're drawing in at a point on the wall. Make sure your gun's clear, and then you start pulling that trigger, and you want to see, okay, cool. Click, hammer, striker, whatever, falls. Great. Oh, okay, I know how to hit low left. I see where my sight is aligned, my red dot, whatever it might be, right? Time, dry fire, rounds being spent at the range, you'll find that it'll actually come pretty quick, I think. And again, 100, 200 rounds of 22, that's really, really easy to do in 30 minutes, honestly, especially if you already got mags loaded, all right? So anyway, man, thank you guys so much for all the super chats. I am trying to get to them. You guys are not letting me get to the regular chat, which I will hop over here in just a moment just to make it fair, of course. But thank you guys so much. This is awesome, right? So thank you. Tanner, 15K to 20K for shit hits the fan guns. What would you recommend getting? I know that list could vary greatly. All right, so if you've got $15,000 to $20,000 to throw around, I would get probably two rifles, or one really good multi-purpose rifle. Could be a 16-inch, could be a 14.5, full-time suppressed, good variable power optic. Because a lot of, again, $15,000 to $20,000, that's a lot of money. And not all of it would be spent on a gun or multiple guns. It's going to be spent on a really decked out, perfect gun. And I'm not talking like, lasers and all this type of shit, right? I'm talking about practical use type of stuff. Good optic, good light, good sling, good ammo. This IMI, Razor Core 77 grain. I love this ammo, right? That's why it's sitting back here. I'd buy a bunch of this, train with it, get good with it, all right? 5.56. And I'd have that stockpiled, okay? Obviously. All right, let me just tell you what I do. So training, gear, equipment, clothing. I mean, dude, there's so much goes into it. Food. I would also take quite a bit of that money, depending on where you live. That would be the other thing if you had this kind of money to show around, just for shit hits the fan guns. Get out of the city. Find yourself some property. Start gardening. Start raising some animals. Or, as my friend Josh likes to say, growing animals if they're not the kind that's going to be staying around for a long time. I would start getting into becoming a little bit more self-sufficient. And I would get the type of weaponry that I would need to protect that, whatever that might include. Okay. So at the end of it all, my Mark 12 with my Leupold Mark AR optic, offset red dot, silencer, and Surefire turbo scout light, that's going to be like one of my go-to guns. If things ever popped off, right? For shit hits the fan. 18-inch barrel, I know I'm very effective with that gun. If I needed to go out to distance, I could. If I needed to hunt with it, I could. If I needed to go close quarters, I could. So it's not like I'm limiting myself, right? A good Mark 12 is hard to beat. I love a Mark 12 5.56 gun. Anyway, I hope I answered that appropriately. Let me know what you guys think down in the chat. In fact, let's go to the live chat really quick here. And yeah, that's another good point too. Have spare parts on your rifles for your rifles and pistols. Shit wears out. Have spare bolt carrier groups, spare firing pins, all the type of stuff. Yeah, that's a great comment right there. That's awesome. There's a large assortment out there, and the airsoft market has kind of watered down the decent options. That's something. Yeah. There you go. Let me see. Different subject. Ben is completely fine. He's the general manager working behind the scenes. All right. Let's see here. I want to see if anybody else had any comments on. There you go, Dwayne. I'm glad you guys are helping Dwayne out here. That's awesome. Let's see. I'm also seeing some spam. That's fun. Let's see. It looks like we're getting a response. I'll find that one here in just a moment. The point of the laser on a PEC 15 is IR aiming for use with nods. If you're not interested in night shooting capability, a light is enough. Agreed. I do love night vision and all that type of stuff. I have a PEC 15 and a D-ball that I keep around. Obviously, you guys have seen the D-ball on my Mark 18. That stuff is a lot of fun. All right. And you might find that to be, yeah, I mean, definitely get nods with that budget. Sure, get into that game, right? It's an expensive game. And is it something that is all that practical for home defense and stuff like that? Personally, I don't think so. Is it fun to have, though? Absolutely. If shit gets weird, will you have the advantage over somebody who doesn't have nods and it's in the middle of the night and very, very dark? Yeah, as long as you appropriately know how to put to use and practice those same nods. All right? Because there's a lot that goes into that. If you get nods, if you get night vision, and you don't go walk around in the woods with that same night vision on, just equipped, no other gear or anything like that, you're doing yourself a disservice, because the time that it actually comes to implement or put into practice those nods, you're going to realize you're actually at a disadvantage, because night vision is a different game. Your depth perception is going to be off. What you will notice is you're not always going to be in focused, right? If you have dual tubes, you'll have a little bit better chances, I guess you could say. But if you're like me, and I just run a single tube, little mono tube PVS 14, because that's what I know. And I would much rather have dual tubes and stuff like that, but I'm not trying to get into that kind of money right now. But that this guy right here, my little PVS 14, I absolutely love it. And yes, my neighbors have definitely seen me walk around getting comfortable with just my night vision, walking around in the woods, because you'll find out really quick. You will trip, you will sprain your ankle, you'll roll your ankle, and you will find yourself to be at more of a disadvantage than you thought you were, right? It's better just to have your natural night vision come into play and walk around in the woods than it is to try to fool around with something that you're not used to. You'll get yourself killed. Anyway, yes, is level 3 plus enough protection for body armor? It's more than not having body armor, and level 3 plus is stopping 308, things like that. You'll be fine, right? So that's how I feel with that. Anyway, let me get back over to a couple of the super chats. Thank you very much. This ain't Tamar. This ain't Omar. This ain't Omar. There it is. I don't know how to read. Appreciate it. Thank you. William Hearn. 9 versus 45 better caliber for guns like a CMMG Banshee. The 45 is a lot of fun. The Banshee is a really cool gun with an awesome operating system. And 45 is, again, a lot of fun. 9mm, better velocity, better capacity, not as heavy, not as much recoil. But the 45 is more fun to shoot suppressed. I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. It really does come down to which round do you have more of. Which one's more affordable? You know, that's how I'd go with that. Not still. Okay, not today. Thank you for that, Texas 13 Outlaw. There we go. Legacy Productions in the chat. Always good to see you, man. Thank you so much. Didn't want to miss a stream. Happy 4th, y'all. I'm going to be trying out a new range opening up near me and run some pistol drills. Hope y'all's weekend is filled with firework booms and gun booms. Absolutely. If you guys live anywhere near me, you will definitely be hearing all sorts of fun stuff coming from over here. All right. So there you go. Oh, and did somebody say that fireworks are illegal in North Carolina? Okay, take that and shove it. When I used to work for the police department, we would get 911 phone calls all the time out of Cornelius Police Department in North Carolina. And it was usually some Karen or somebody like that saying, they're shooting up fireworks. We say, okay, got that. We'll send somebody out there to check it out. Anyway, hey, officer, did you see these fireworks? Yes. Can you go tell them to stop? Sure. Complete. There you go. Anyway, small town America. Oh, man. Nix Key? Nix QY? Nix Quy? I'm trying. What is my all-time money is no issue gun? Mod Deuce. Full auto, obviously. Or the M134 Gatling gun. Something absolutely ridiculous. And the range to shoot it on. Absolutely. In a more practical stance, LMT, their 308 battle rifle. That's what I want. That's what I want. All right. So there you go. Oh, man. Anyway, what else we have? Minigun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Keith gets it. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, those are the best officers. Ones that say, yep, responding. There you go. Kaya will always have those cuffs on him. Be careful from Rambo. Nah, man. We got Kaya. Don't worry. You don't think we'd hire a Fed without having some sort of incriminating photos or something? I'm just kidding. No, dude, Kaya's a good guy. Kaya's a good guy, and y'all don't need to worry. All right. So I'm talking with Sig about that. Emmanuel is asking about our Sig Spear versus Scar video, and it's so funny. I've got the Sig Spear behind me here. Sorry, over here, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever out of this one. Lancer mags, P mags, even the damn Hex mags. No issues whatsoever. Just that one spear that we happen to be shooting, for whatever reason, it was so easy to over-insert magazines. I think, honestly, it had to do something with probably the actual mag catch within the receiver. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. It's just how it goes. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Lorenzo, actually, let me one-up you on that. People should mind their business, but so should government. Just leave us alone, right? Anyway. Let's see here. 300 Blackout is closer to an AK round than a 5.56. Take that, UAR boy. 300 Blackout is closer to 7.62 by 39. I mean, 7.62 by 35 at the end of the day. And yeah, it's definitely closer to an AK round than 5.56. Yeah. So there you go. Jonathan Gregano, what's my workout routine look like? Right now, it looks like I need to work out more, right? I've had a couple of life changes, and I'm getting into a new routine. I do have a little home gym set up over there, nice little hex bar, deadlift bar, good curl bar, all that type of stuff. And I'm really going to be focusing on that soon, especially if the Marine Corps, if I want to stay in the Marines. They do not like their PFT and CFT failures, and I do not plan on being one. So there you go. Holster for 365X macro. As I've already mentioned, Alpha Mega Kydex. There you go. There you go. Let's see here. In Anchorage, Alaska, fireworks illegal. TNT wasn't. Well, I guess you find out what your 4th of July explosions will be, all right? Hobby other than pew-pews. Drinking. Lafroig. This is one of my go-to scotches. Vehicles. I do like my cars and some off-roading, overlanding, if you will. In fact, I plan on taking my little Toyota 4Runner on a trip very, very soon. So make sure you guys, I actually talked a little bit about that in a what we take to the range video. I wonder how that video did anyway. Range day, loadout. We put that out now about 4 days ago, about 30,000 views. Not too bad. And I mentioned a little bit about doing a little bit of like what one of the comments here from Adam Howard 4577, off-roading, overlanding vehicle loadouts would be an awesome video. And yeah, I really do love like outdoors and stuff like that. And I am actually getting more so into a hobby that I think is actually a really good hobby to get into, and that's kind of like homesteading. As I was mentioning earlier, becoming a little bit more self-reliant, farming in a sense, right? Growing a garden, having animals that can provide. It's one thing to have a stockpile of food, but it's one thing to have food that regenerates, right? Make sure you get near a water source, things like that, right? So, yeah, different hobbies, surviving without having to go to the grocery store. That's something that is a goal of mine, all right? Try lock picking. It pulls the babes. Anyway. Oh, man. You guys are too freaking funny. You can hide a lot of stuff in an Overlander. Yeah, that's true. Keith, you're absolutely right. There's all sorts of things that you can have fun with that. Let's see here. Somebody asked about fishing. Been there, done that. Simplify to you as well. Where was that? Hold on, I gotta find that. What are my thoughts on Delton ARs? Mentioned them just a little bit ago. They work very, very well. Buy a motorcycle. It's on my list of things to do. My dad bought a motorcycle, his first motorcycle, when he was 24 years old. And he was a Harley guy. My grandfather was an Indian guy. I'm torn between which one I want to go with, but that's what I would do. This is the comment I was talking about. Do I fish? It's been a while, but yes, I do like to fish quite a bit. I did consider myself a pretty decent fisherman at one point. Kaya has never been. That is actually outside the warehouse. We take Kaya fishing. I'm writing that down. Actually, I'm sending that. That has to be a thing. Okay. Outside the warehouse. We are in a group text for work. Everybody around content and stuff like that. Outside the warehouse, we take Kaya fishing. Parentheses. He's never been. Oh, man. I can already tell you right now we're going to be getting in trouble because I'm not paying taxes to get a fishing license. I'm sure we can find some private property or whatever. We take Kaya fishing. He's ever been. That's perfect. Yeah, that's another thing too. Game wardens, stuff like that. I do believe they serve a purpose, right? Like you can't go out there and just start, genociding a bunch of animals. There's got to be some level of conservation and things like that. And a lot of hunters are conservationists. And, but no dynamite when you take Kaya fishing. That's funny. Also no promises. M80s, wrapped with BBs. Anyway, is that a destructive device? I'm not admitting to ever making. Anyway, yeah, outside the warehouse, I think would be a lot of fun. I forgot what I was saying. I got distracted about the M80 destructive device thing. Let's see here. This is a pretty good question from Video Games. Thank you for the super chat. Heard you're in the Marine Reserves. How was your experience and do you recommend it? If I wanted to join just for the small taste of the military, 0311. I joined as a reservist. The only active duty I've ever done is through my initial training, through boot camp, through combat training, and through my MOS school. I'm a 2311 ammunition technician, and I've been in the Marine Corps Reserves for going on, it'll be 13 years in January, so 12 and a half years, right? And I would recommend it. There's a lot of people I know, however, guys that I have grown close with, that I consider really good friends, that really did get fucked. Everybody has a different experience. And one of the biggest lies that's told to you when you join is, it is what you make it. I used to subscribe to that mindset. However, you can have a very toxic leadership, and it doesn't matter how positive or how optimistic of a person you might be. If you have a toxic leadership, they will drive you to getting out. And that is why you have a lot of problems with retention in the United States Marine Corps and the United States military as a whole, because you have these leaders that have more badges than they do morals, and it really fucks with people. And so I don't have a thick stack of ribbons and medals because I'm not a fucking medal chaser, right? I don't care about the chest candy. I want to make sure that my guys are taken care of. And I've had really good leadership, and that's why I advocate for joining the reserves. Because at the same time I was able to focus on my Marine Corps career, I've been able to focus on my civilian career, and it's a double fucking whammy. So I would absolutely recommend it. That's not to say, though, that you're going to have the same experience that I did. Because at the end of the day, well, it could very much so suck. There's a reason why the suicide rate is so high. You know, we got guys that go out and that literally risk their lives. I've never seen combat, never been deployed in a combat operation or anything like that. Will never claim to be. Will never even claim that I've been in any type of conflict other than maybe arguing with my leadership or a subordinate that was being a little piece of shit. So, you know, at the end of the day, partially it is what you make it. Partially, but it's not everything. Like I said, you can have some really bad leadership out there that only cares about elevating their career, and they don't give a shit about who they throw under the bus. If you find yourself in that type of chain of command, it sometimes can be very, very hard to get out from underneath it. Thankfully, in the reserves, your I&I staff rotates. So, you know, if you do have that type of bad leadership, they won't be around for that long. The problem is you might have really good leadership that won't be around that long, you know? So, you know, that's all there is to it. Yeah, let's see here. This is Assassin of the Gray. I saw combat, and they still tried treating things like garrison life on the forward operating base. That's such bullshit, right? Go watch the series, Generation Kill. Police that mustache, right? Sergeant Major, all that shit. Go watch that series if you want to get a very real taste of bullshit in the military, right? Especially coming from the Marine Corps perspective. It's like Band of Brothers. It's like the Pacific, but modern times, and it is not glorified whatsoever. It is the nitty gritty, down and dirty of what it actually is. Rudy Reyes plays himself. Fruity Rudy. He's engaged to my friend Jade Struck. And, you know, go watch it. It's pretty much what I would say it is. However, I've never been active duty, and I'm definitely not a 0311. However, I did just take up a position. I'll be checking into my new unit soon. I will be actually attached to an infantry unit, so that'll be fun. But anyway, I'm not going to be saying too much more about that because operational security, boys and girls. But there you go. Yeah, I'm not wishing for any of that, by the way. Combat MOS is a different life. That's absolutely true. I have really, really enjoyed my time as a POG, a person other than grunt, right? I will never forget sitting in Morocco at the FASP, the Field Ammunition Supply Point, and watching the grunts hike across the desert. One of the guys was kicking their helmet because it fell off his pack, and he didn't have the time to actually bend over and pick it up because they were, you know, humping at that type of speed. And me, my gunny, a couple of other guys were watching, and we thought that right there just solidified the decision I made not to go 03. Because here we are sitting around the showers that we built away from the rest of the base because we segregate ourselves as ammo techs for conflict of interest and things like that. And that's all there is to it, you know. Caleb, no, I'm not going to 3.6. All right, not going to 3.6. Oh, man. You know, that was a really long response to that question, but at the end of the day, my experience in the Marine Corps Reserves has been a favorable one. That's because I've had really good leadership and I've worked my ass off. I didn't take my first couple of years all that seriously, though. I joined, and then, I didn't have great leadership right at the beginning, and I figured I'm not staying in, I'm getting out. When my 6 years, because as a reserve, you sign up for 6 years. When my 6 years of obligated drilling time came up, I checked out. I actually decided to get out of the Marine Corps. That very same day, that same gunnery sergeant I was just talking about, Jeremiah, if you're watching, hey, he's out now. He's since retired. But anyway, he pulled me to the side and he talked to me and he said, hey man, give me 3 more drills. 3 more drills outside of your obligated drilling time. And let's just see how that goes. Okay? So I checked right back in. Supply wasn't too happy with me because I had to get reissued my gear that I just turned in. And those 3 extra drills that I stayed were different. Because with the Marine Corps Reserve, you're able to do what's called IRR. That's the Individual Ready Reserve. And you can just continue to drill. So either way, you sign up for 8 years. If you're active duty, you do 4 years active duty. That's your 9 to 5. You live it, right? If you're reserves, you do your 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the summer, and you do that for 6 years. Either way, you still have either 4 years if you're active that you're in the IRR, or 2 years that you're in the IRR for the reserve side, and you can get called up at any point in time that says, hey, we need you to come back, right? It's up to you to maintain the standards and all that type of stuff. So either way, it's ultimately an 8-year contract. Okay. With that, though, when you start drilling on your own time and you're not obligated to be there, it's different. I don't know what it is, but for me, I'm still in after 12 and a half years. And, it's, I've seen a lot of good guys get out. I've seen a lot of shitbags stay in. And I've seen a lot of good guys get the positions and the recognition that they deserve. I see a lot of shitbags get the recognition they don't deserve. It is what it is. And you're going to see that on a really large scale in the military, but you're also going to see that everywhere else in life. It's up to you, how you take it. So that's my advice to you coming from a career reservist, Pogue reservist over here, all right? So anyway, late, but I'm here. Good to see you. Pick 'em deep. Appreciate it. I didn't take my first 10 years in reserve seriously, but the last 11 was hardcore because I was deployed all the time in the Navy Seabees. Seabees are awesome. I will always support you guys. It doesn't matter if you're Navy or not. And I am definitely a fan. You guys have definitely helped me out in different situations and build us up. You guys helped, put it that way. Assassin of the Grey saw too many Blue Falcons get promoted. The chain of command knew they were dirtbags. Blue Falcons, for those of you that don't know, that is the code word for buddy fucker. These are the people that will step on you, claw their way up to try to get recognized, to try to get that chest candy, medals, to try to get rank, whatever it might be, and not actually take into consideration their peers or their subordinates. Or hell, even their leadership, right? Some people didn't give a shit. You might have a really good leader, but he's getting shit pulled down on him because you've got one shitbag that just can't show up on time. You got one guy that's over there that's fucking everybody else and screwing things up, but you've got a good leader that's getting all the hell for it, right? Anyway, there you go. Career reservist here, 9 active, 14 years, retired. Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me talk about it, right? So there you go. But yeah, it's unfortunate though when these Blue Falcons, get that recognition or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It sucks. But anyway, let's talk guns. All right, I'm sorry. Yep, I know probably career advice, about the Marine Corps Reserves isn't exactly what everybody's tuning in for, but it's something I know. It's something I live right now. All right. But anyway, all right, let's go. Can't do wall-to-wall counseling anymore. Yeah, sure. I saw all of them. They get people killed. That's absolutely right. Simplify, brother. Simplified all of you guys. Let me get over here to a couple more of the super chats I'm seeing coming through. Thank you guys so much for that. Halibut fishing, 410 to 44 mag, 300-pound fish. Damn. Halibut fishing. I do like some good halibut. That's like the fillet of the sea, you know. But anyway, 410 to 44 mag, 300-pound fish. I don't even know, dude. I'll be honest. I've got so little experience, like zero with a 300-pound fish. I don't even know what would be a good idea. 410? Maybe 44 Magnum? I don't know. That one's... I don't know. Let's see here. Legacy Productions just got my IFAC from Trauma Pack. Thanks for the discount. You're welcome. Any recommendations on where to get training? So first of all, Trauma Pack... if I take away my American flag cowboy hat, and this is my trauma pack, one of my trauma packs sitting right there. That's on my battle belt. Absolutely would recommend. There's a lot of different classes out there that you can take a look at. In fact, there's medical training. If you just go to Trauma Pack's social media, Instagram, you will see that they actually offer all sorts of training and things like that. And they have all sorts of just, here's what to do, what not to do. Savage Paramedics, follow them. They offer all sorts of crazy stuff. If you guys are squeamish, maybe don't follow Savage Paramedics. But they offer all sorts of good advice and help also. So, I mean, there's great stuff out there. Anyway, Ghost Shadow, my CO volunteered company to test the new NBC gear, 29 palms, PFT, and full gear sucks. Nope, don't want to do that. Again, watch Generation Kills if you guys want to see what that's like. Field fuck. Anyway, Texas 13 Outlaw, thank you again, man. Grew up on a farm, better part of my life. Get 3 head of cattle, 2 heifers, 1 bull, 6 chickens, 2 goats, 2 horses for mobility, and you're self-sufficient. Granted the amount of land you have and state. Yeah. Goals. Everything you just said, goals, right? I am really looking forward to that chapter in my life, personally. So, any GP here, this is a good question. Any experience with ankle holsters, what you'd carry in one? So, Clint Smith, he likes his ankle holsters for a little snub nose revolver or whatever. You can listen to him kind of talk about that some. I don't have any experience with an ankle holster, except I guess I could admit this now. Before I really got into, guns like I am now, I was actually an unarmed security guard downtown Charlotte, North Carolina. 0 out of 10 would recommend. First of all, being unarmed security is useless. You're a very easy target. Okay. Hand-to-hand combat, martial arts, that's great. But it means the shit when somebody pulls a gun on you. Okay. So there's that. I don't care how much Marine Corps martial arts, you got training on, you're going to die. So I did actually have a, 38 special Smith & Wesson. What was that really light? Man, this was so long ago. Smith & Wesson 38 that I did actually carry on an ankle on one of those little elastic whatever, and since I didn't have to, I did a lot of walking for my job and I would carry a little revolver. And like I said, I guess I can't get in trouble for it now. I mean, this was 11 years ago, right after I joined the Marines. I got this unarmed security guard job, and I was not supposed to be armed whatsoever. I was actually in a building that, was no weapons, all that type of stuff. Yeah, there's whatever. Screw it. I don't care. But yeah, I would carry a little revolver with me, and I would be in parking decks going in, shady areas. And I'm like, dude, I am a really easy target here. Screw this. And that's that. So I don't remember the brand. I don't even still have it. I actually sold that revolver. I think I traded it for something else at at Eagle Gun and Pawn in Concord, North Carolina. And want to say, I don't remember the brand. It was like one of those elastic Velcro-y holsters that I'd carry on my ankle. And it's a good idea, I guess. If you ever get on your back, you can kind of pull your ankle up. And what's great about a snub nose revolver is, well, you don't have to worry about it being out of battery and malfunctioning if you get right up against somebody and pull that trigger. You know, so there you go. Like I said, Clint Smith has a good take on it. There you have it. All right. So anyway, let me get a couple more here. Air weight. Yeah, I think that was it, Michael. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see here. Are there any specific inside the boot holsters? Not that I know. Inside the boot, I don't know if that sounds all that comfortable, to be completely honest. So there you go. Yeah, here you go. I got Lorenzo Anaya. Right, I got slashed on a security job. I don't go to a gunfight with nothing. Yeah, not a good idea. Any pistol drill recommendations? Think I'm going to run some bill drills and reloads. Bill drills are awesome. You're already on a good way. If you're doing, honestly, pistol drills, drawing from the concealed, carry, those are some of the best drills that you can do, because those are the ones that are going to be the most practical, because those are the ones that you're going to find yourself implementing in that real life scenario. So again, real close, we actually did a video with Sarah and Kaya not too long ago about, I guess it was a month ago or so, all about that type of drill and just, getting away, create the distance, draw, shoot, reload, all that type of stuff. So check that video out. That one's a pretty good one. I might be able to find, Paul Blart, pretty much, unarmed security. Yeah, there you go, rent-a-cop. Yeah, I was a rent-a-cop. What can I say? I was a 911 call taker and police dispatcher for a legitimate law enforcement agency, small town police department. And before that, I was a rent-a-cop. So there you go. Like I said, 0 out of 10 would recommend. I worked for Allied Barton was the company, and it sucked. I hated that job. But anyway, thanks. I'm a big fan. Appreciate it. Thank you. Big fan of you. All right. Carried a Walther PPS and a Galco ankle holster as a backup for many years. There you go. There's, bam. Eric Lee Hansen, thank you for that. Galco ankle holster for those of you that are curious about an ankle holster. All right. Let's see here. Connor Lesko, thank you for the super chat. I am having issues grouping and zeroing my rifle using SIG Romeo MSR with the Juliet 3X micro magnifier. Any suggestions or tips? I wish I was able to answer these a little bit better, but if I'm not there, it's kind of difficult, or if I don't have the rifle to be able to test it myself. And I will say this, one of the biggest comments, or one of the biggest issues I typically see when somebody says I'm having an issue zeroing my rifle, and I don't mean to sound like an asshole here, make sure your optic is tight. I mean that 100%. Make sure your optic is actually tight. I have had it happen to me at the range where, especially with the QD mount, oh yeah, it's tight enough. Then you start shooting and it's like, damn, I can't hit the damn target. What's going on? Grab a hold of your optic and shake that bitch. And if there's any wobble whatsoever, even if it's stiff and you're able to move it back and forth on the pick rail or anything, it's too loose. It's going to throw your shot. You're not going to hit your target. You're going to be off and you're going to miss and you're going to die. So, so make sure, yeah, you did this. Okay. I'll respond to that in a moment. So make sure your optic is tight. From there, it's amazing what a laser bore sight will do for you. Get that laser bore sight on there. Zero your optic to that laser bore sight that's showing up at whatever distance you're going to be aiming down at. And then go ahead and take the laser bore sight out and send 2 or 3 rounds downrange. Okay, send 3 or 4 rounds downrange. See what your grouping looks like there and make sure you're accurate. I mean, you've got to be in a really good shooting position. On a bench, rested is perfect, right? You want to have the most stable shooting position that you can come up with. Prone also is a great one. And then focus on those fundamentals. Exhale. Focus on your breathing. Slow, steady squeeze. Think about the placement of the trigger, where that is. All these things, it's a huge collaboration of things that have to work together to get an accurate shot, right? So there you go. Also, yes, zero without the magnifier. That's the first thing to do. 36 yards from a stable platform. If you guys want to know why 36 yards, look up trajectory. 36 and 200, right? Isn't that what it is? So anyway, That's why I stopped using QD mounts. Yep. Right. There you go. I saw, what was the other one? So, yeah, I did a spell with Allied Barton in San Diego. Gig sucked, yeah. I think they're now like Allied Universal or something like that. I mentioned that earlier. I was never active duty except for training, all right? What's up, what's up? What's up with you, D-boy? Thank you for joining. All right, Nathan, that's why I stopped using QD. Thought I got to that. There you go. Cleansing breath before begin. There you go. All right. What is Springfield releasing on July 15th? I don't know. Anyway, MC Uper. Damn it. Oh, man. Hey, North Carolina. What's up, Lee? Thank you for joining as well. And I'm sorry. What, Ricky? Thanks. Appreciate that. Build each other up. Talk confidently and compliment your bros. All right. Call up your best guy friend and tell him he looks good today. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Anyway, Connor, I hope I was able to answer your question though, a little bit about zeroing, or not even answer, but offer a little bit of guidance there. And of course, you know, Clint, off topic, what's your favorite Kentucky straight bourbon? Oh, yeah, I know I got distracted when I saw bourbon. Sorry. I actually am a really big fan of Basil Hayden. I like Basil Hayden quite a bit. Whistle Pig, my buddy Ryan. You guys know Ryan, of course. He actually turned me on to Whistle Pig, and they got the new Piggyback, I think it's called. That's a bourbon, because they were just doing rye for the longest time. So that's a good one as well. I am like a really big fan of Blanton's. I do like Blanton's. That was my dad's go-to as well. So there you go. Venom MDK AWS. Look up AWS. That's who I use. It's a slim belt. You can get an inner belt. You can also get a inner belt that goes actually in your belt loop. This is just a padded belt that goes on the inside of your actual AWS gun belt. And so if you wanted it to go over your clothing, that's an option for you. Okay, I think I'm going to do a couple more of these here before I hop off, guys. I'm really happy to see how many of you guys are still on, too. Friday nights, obviously, are a good time to hop on, I guess. So, I don't know. I think I'll keep with the Monday night tradition just to start the week off with guns and shit. And maybe on, you know, if I can't make a Monday night stream, I'll try Friday. I will be back at Classic in the warehouse. Sarah will be with us next week. So maybe we'll do a... Maybe we'll do a collaborative live stream. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. You know, comment down below if that's something you guys think you'd like to see. All right. Let's see here. Tanner, thank you again, man. For my CZ Shadow 2 and CMMG Banshee, would you recommend 124 grain or just use the 115 grain that I already have thousands of? I am a big fan of 124 grain, especially in those longer barreled guns. But honestly, 115, if your gun's running fine with it and everything, you're going to be good. You already got so much of it, thousands of already. You know, maybe the 124 grain could be your defensive round, depending on whichever, you know, cartridge you decide to go with. But at the end of the day, 115 is going to be working just fine for you. The CZ Shadow 2 is not a picky eater, so there you go. Neither is the CMMG Banshee. There you go. So, all right. Try Blue Note Mix Tape Bourbon. Blue Note Mixtape Bourbon. Chuck Robertson. All right. I will check that out. Thank you. All right. Last one. I'm going to call it after this, guys, because I feel like, I don't know, maybe going and watching a movie or something. I still have to watch Extraction 2 so we can do our top 5 guns from Extraction 2. All right. And I haven't eaten anything, so I need to do that too. Let's see here. Texas 13 Outlaw. I know this is a tough one. Wife is preggers. Oh, man. Well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. Best conceal for her other than off-body. Done tons of research and no solid answer. Very frustrating. Oh, dude. All right. So, first of all, her being pregnant, she's already super uncomfortable. That's all there is to it. And had she thought about maybe 3 or 4 o'clock carrying? And honestly, it's going to be outside the waistband. I can't imagine having anything inside the waistband while expanding like that. How far along is she, if you don't mind me asking? But I would say something outside the waistband and a simple shirt like this being overthrown. She can have like a tank top, whatever's comfortable for her, t-shirt, whatever she wears underneath, and then just an overshirt that hangs kind of low, oversized, baggy, whatever it is, something that she can still, manipulate and get used to, but carry outside the waistband with like a nice compact pistol. Believe me, it's actually really, really easy to do, and something that I have done before too. If I'm feeling lazy and I don't feel like going inside the waistband or anything like that, it's a really comfortable way to carry. There's all sorts of different leggings out there that have belt loops and all that stuff, but will they actually stretch as she starts to get closer to that 9 months and everything? I don't know. But I would say something 33 weeks. 33 weeks pregnant. Wow, she's close. That's awesome. Congratulations. And so, yeah. Also, Tanner, yeah, so Extraction 2 is an awesome movie. That's not the comment I meant to click on, but that's awesome. I'm glad to hear the positive feedback. Not supposed to shoot guns around a pregnant person. I heard. Any truth to that? Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons, right, at least in my mind. One, the actual gases that are being expelled when shooting. You got that gunpowder and everything else. You don't want to be inhaling that, okay? Secondly, yeah, it's still loud, especially at 33 weeks pregnant. Your child can hear you. Children, if you got twins or triplets or whatever, multiples, I'll just say, they can hear you. And even though they're really comfortable and they got layers of protection and everything like that, I still personally wouldn't risk shooting and stuff. Now, say what you will about her, but Bonnie Rotten was still shooting competitively at 6 months pregnant, I believe. And that was a case. So, there's that. But yes, lead and other toxic substances are something that I would be afraid of inhaling. Tell your pregnant spouse or significant other to wear a gas mask while shooting and shoot suppressed. There you go. Problem solved. Now, in the in the unfortunate situation that she has to draw a gun to defend herself or whatever, those couple of shots that you might get off in a defensive situation, I doubt it's going to do any type of long-term damage to the baby. All right. And now, granted, I'm not a doctor or a scientist or all that smart, but this is just from what I know. All right. Or at least what I think. So there you go. Anyway, yeah, I think, thanks. Second one coming in, strictly self-defense in this instance. There you go. So, all right. Well, again, congratulations to you, Texas 13 Outlaw. That's awesome news. Yeah, that's what I'm so happy for you. I don't know what else to say. That's just incredible. So yeah, anytime you can bring kids into the world, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So it's beautiful. So cool. Yeah, I think, guys, I'm going to hop off now. I think Extraction 2 and a little bit more Lafroig is calling my name. And, I don't know. I think maybe a steak or something too. I'm pretty damn hungry at this point. So I'll leave it off there, guys. And, of course, all right, let me get to this. Keith, you said baby and not a clump of cells. No, that's a baby. Anyway. All right. Hey, I'm leaving it off there, guys. Thank you again so much for tuning in. And if you're catching the live stream after it was live, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. And, let's say July 3rd, that Monday, just a couple of days from now, I'll plan on hopping on the live stream then, even though it's just a couple of days from now. Yeah, I still want to talk to you guys and also wish you a happy Independence Day. And so there you have it, all right? But anyway, again, appreciate you guys so much. It means the world for so many of you coming on, watching this, also contributing to the channel and sending up all the super chats and everything. I hope my audio was a little bit better for you guys. I'm sorry at the beginning too that... That's pretty funny. I can see your comments still coming in for the steak. I didn't say what kind of steak it was. All right. I don't know. It's just cat, Anyway. But no, you guys still tuning in and just having these conversations with me. It means the world to me and the team again. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. God bless you guys. And let's all high five on the 5th. I see you. Cheers. Solancha, let me know down in the comments section once this video is posted. What were you guys drinking with me tonight? God bless you guys. Man, I love scotch.